Today's lesson is on adding integers. First, we'll look at our key idea for adding integers with the same sign. We're going to add the absolute values of the integers, then use the common sign. So 2 plus 5 would equal 7, because the absolute value of 2 is 2, the absolute value of 5 is 5, 2 plus 5 is 7, and since 2 and 5 are both positive, our answer would be positive. And negative 2 plus negative 5 equals negative 7, because the absolute value of negative 2 is 2, the absolute value of negative 5 is 5, 2 plus 5 is 7, and since both of the negative 2 and negative 5 are negative, our answer is also negative, so it would be negative 7. For our first example, we're adding integers with the same sign. We're going to find negative 2 plus negative 4. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2. And the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Since negative 2 and negative 4 are both negative, our answer is also negative, so it'd be negative 6. Now we have some additional examples. You can pause the video and try them on your own, or you may follow along. We're going to add. So for number 1, we have 6 plus 7. The absolute value of 6 is 6. The absolute value of 7 is 7, and 6 plus 7 is 13. Since both 6 and 7 are positive, our answer would be positive. So it would be 13. For number 2, we have negative 3 plus negative 4. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3, and the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. Since negative 3 and negative 4 are both negative, our answer is also negative. So our answer would be negative 7. For number 3, we have negative 8 plus negative 2. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8, and the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. Since both negative 8 and negative 2 are negative, our answer is also negative. So our answer would be negative 10. And for number 4, 5 plus 4, 5, the absolute value of 5 is 5. And the absolute value of 4 is 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. And since 5 and 4 are both positive, our answer is positive. So our answer would be 9. Now we're going to look at our key idea for adding integers with different signs. We're going to subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater absolute value. Then use the sign of the integer with a greater absolute value. So 8 plus negative 10 would equal negative 2, because the absolute value of 8 is 8, and the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. And then we subtract 10 minus 8, and we get 2. The absolute value of negative 10 was larger, and since that original number was negative, our answer is also negative, so it would be negative 2. Now for negative 13 plus 17, we would have the absolute value of negative 13, and that would be 13. The absolute value of 17 is 17. Since we have different signs, we're going to subtract. 17 minus 13 is 4. And then 17 is the number with a greater absolute value. 17 is positive, so our answer is also positive. So our answer is 4. Now for the additive inverse property. The sum of an integer and its additive inverse, or opposite, is 0. So 6 plus negative 6 would equal 0. And negative 25 plus 25 would equal 0. Or we could also say that a plus negative a would equal 0. Now for our second example, we're adding integers with different signs. For a, we're going to find 5 plus negative 10. The absolute value of 5 is 5. And the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. Since we have a negative and a positive, we're going to subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5, and the negative 10 has the larger absolute value. Since it is negative in our problem, our answer is also negative. So our answer is negative 5. For b, we're going to find negative 3 plus 7. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3. The absolute value of 7 is 7. Since we have different signs, we're going to subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. 7 has the larger absolute value, and it is positive in the problem, so our answer is positive. Our answer is positive 4. And for C, we're going to find negative 12 plus 12. Negative 12 and 12 are opposites, so our answer will be 0. Now we have an additional example. You can either pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. We're going to add. For number 1, we have negative 5 plus 9. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5, and the absolute value of 9 is 9. Since I have a negative and a positive, I'm going to subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 has the larger absolute value, so our answer is going to be positive because 9 is positive. So our answer is 4. For number 2, we have 2 plus negative 5. The absolute value of 2 is 2, and the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Since we have different signs, we're going to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3, and the absolute value of negative 5 is larger. Since this is negative in our problem, our answer is also going to be negative. So our answer is negative 3. For number 3, we have negative 9 plus 3. The absolute value of negative 9 is 9, and the absolute value of 3 is 3. Since we have different signs, we're going to subtract. 9 minus 3 is 6. The absolute value of negative 9 is larger. Since it's negative in our problem, our answer is also going to be negative. So our answer is negative 6. And for number 4, we have 5 plus negative 5. 5 and negative 5 are opposites, so our answer is going to be 0. Don't forget to fill out your notes, and remember you can watch the video again if needed.